marriage might be a financial security and a legal security for this woman. So this is exactly why I say you cannot convince you. We can never convince you, because fundamentally, if you're selfish, I can't convince you to do something unless there's a value I'm providing you with, which is some kind of contract or money. Or let's say I'm a billionaire and you really want to be like a 500. This is a hypothetical situation. Then I'm like, oh, we're dating, and I'm like, okay, you have to marry me in order to get certain things. Then I think I could convince you. But if you can get all the benefits without marriage, why would you do it? It's against human nature, and it's not possible.
But why do you think it's selfish? If a man doesn't want to get married, why is that selfish?
No, I
maybe
don't think
he's
it's
protecting himself. Maybe he's just still a very good provider. He will still take care of your children. He will still be there. He will take care of everything. Why is that selfish?
If the girl wants to and he doesn't want to,
Isn't
I think
it
it's
selfish from the girl because he's
that's a
pressing
good
him?
argument.
Then y'all just shouldn't
If he's
Let me
still a
ask you
good
this.
provider for the
One
children
second.
at home, isn't that selfish of the woman to pressure him? You say it's selfish of the man if he doesn't want to, but isn't that selfish of a woman to say, I want it, otherwise I will leave you? It's like a threat, right? It's not fair. It's also a
it
little
is
bit
selfish.
selfish.
It is
I was
selfish, but we're
actually
trying to
gonna make that- I was gonna make that
convince
argument.
him. Right? Like, the question is how
you
to
have-
convince
Well,
him.
so-
You have
if
to
in
be
order
fair.
convince
You have to
him-
So
be fair
I'll
both
actually,
ways.
and I'll get you in
Yeah.
just a sec. I'll actually say, would I marry a female billionaire without a, what's it called?
Prenup.
That's the scenario in which I'll get married.
Yeah, that's,
So it's
that's
about
like
the
a way to
money.
convince you, right? If someone wants
If
that.
she's a billionaire, I
Yeah.
will marry her.
Yeah, to address
it's
your
about
concern,
you
it's okay to be
marrying
selfish.
the
I'm not
money.
saying like, oh, you're
Sure.
selfish and it's wrong. I'm talking about the topic of convincing, right? I'm just saying this is the way to convince someone who think of his own interests. And there's no good or bad. There's no judgment on that.
But do you not think it's a little dangerous? Because you say, I want to have a contract, I want to have everything, I want to have like a prenup thing if I married a billionaire. Where is the love then? Because you will only get married if there's a contract thing. Why is it not the beautiful way? Why is always, I have to provide you this and this and that, and that's why I want to get married?
Because I'm saying
Not-
this is the way I will use to convince him to get married. Not that I'm saying this is the best way. I'm not saying it's good to convince someone to get married. But the question is, how would you convince someone? Do you understand my point?
But why do you want to,
Right.
like,
I think I might have something that
Before I have you go, you had something, go ahead.
Yeah, so the way you're framing this question almost is like, why should I get married if it doesn't serve me in any way? And ultimately, like, it doesn't change anything about my relationship to this person I've been seeing long term or feel in love with? My question would be, what's the harm? If you're saying it doesn't really change anything anyway, why are you scared to get married?
Oh,
How is
well-
that? Is that a money thing?
Well, that's not what I'm saying. There are risks when it comes to getting married.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
And so that's my objection to it.
But I'm asking you, I guess, what are those risks that you perceive?
So there's a couple. So there's one, untangling a marriage is complicated. So from the financial aspect, not just what the woman ends up getting owed, but the legal costs in and of themselves are going to be fairly substantial. Attorneys charge quite a bit. If you're the breadwinner, you're going to actually have to probably go ahead and pay
An
for her.
unreasonable man donated $200. My Chinese wife says the value in marriage is the strength and the security I provide. Money and the rest is meaningless. Lot of broken doors on this panel. Be better.
Okay,
then.
thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Wasn't
it.
expecting that
Unreasonable
voice.
man. Wait, is this grid one? Is this grid one? I
How
think it's
do
grid
you
one.
have security without money? You said that money is meaningless. How can, like, that's a very stupid point.
That's a question for you, unreasonable man. So the financial risks, you have to pay for the attorney. You might have to even pay for your wife or soon-to-be ex-wife's attorney if there's a mismatch in her financial resources and yours. There's the time, the stress of untangling all that. And then there's going to be what she's owed, right? So anything, even with a prenuptial agreement, often these prenuptial agreements tend to get challenged by the person, typically the woman who's typically also initiating the divorce, funnily enough. So, for example, Kevin Costner, his divorce proceedings were here in Santa Barbara. He had a prenuptial agreement with his wife, and in the prenuptial agreement, it said, if you challenge the prenuptial agreement, you lose XYZ. And then she went ahead and challenged it anyways. So even with like potential risks of challenging a prenuptial, the lawyers will still do it because they can maybe try to weasel out of it, whatever. Even with a prenuptial agreement, it typically only has to do with assets or money that you got before the marriage. But everything you got during the marriage really can't be, as far as I know, I could be wrong, not an attorney. This is just from my research. Prenuptial agreements can't really do much when it comes to what's earned during the course of the marriage. So if you've been married 5, 10, 20 years, for example, everything that's earned in the marriage is community property. So then she's just going to get half of everything earned throughout the course of the marriage. I think that this actually will lead to marriage can actually lead to a greater likelihood of the breakdown of the relationship, because if she's just dating you and she breaks up, then she potentially loses any of those benefits that she has from dating you. But if she breaks up with you and she's like, oh, now there's a financial incentive to break up with you, I'm going to get X amount of money, then it's actually like pushing her towards ending the relationship. So
That's interesting.
that's pretty much.
I really agree with you. I want to say that I watched this Soft White Underbelly interview with this divorce lawyer about all the advice he's giving, and it is true that getting married is an event that is most likely to cause distraught and harm in the relationship than the benefit. And
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200.
Yo.
Yes, that was me. Sorry, Streamlabs got me. Men provide
special
security by being capable and competent. Even when I was not well off, my wife was not concerned because she had faith in my ability to provide.
Yeah,
Yo,
this
Grid 1. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
This is exactly what I was saying. If you have a man who will still take care of your children, provide in every way, is marriage not really necessary?
sorry,
Security isn't him having money, it's him not leaving you when you both have no money.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
that comment meant emotional security.
yeah, just to kind of continue the point I was making so I think I agree with you, because like I think half the marriage end in divorce, and among the half that's not divorced, most of them are unhappy. So it's like, actually it's better off if we don't get married. That's true, but I do want to get married. I think it's just like a personal thing.
Sure.
Like a
I
believing
did have
thing.
one thing to
Yeah.
say.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Just one last thing. That's why I was addressing to you. I'm like, I also have the selfish desire to not get married also. So
Thank
I'm
you,
not saying
Justin.
it's good or bad to be selfish in like we want. Yeah.
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 Yeah. What's your thing?
I have been through this, experiencing times where like being married, especially in the military, you can't live with them unless you're married. And there's a lot of like legal issues with that. Like if you are not in a legal marriage, the government doesn't see them as like an extension of you. You can have trouble with like power of attorney stuff and like, you know, finances. Like I wouldn't be able to, if I was not married to my ex-husband, I would not be able to call his bank and say, hey, I need so-and-so unless I'm married legally.
Is he
So-
still in the Marines?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, you talking
No.
about his infidelity, it's illegal, isn't
Really?
it? Can't he be court-martialed?
They can, yeah, but
Yeah. Okay.
It's illegal to cheat.
If you're in the military, yeah, you have
They
to be.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
No, in
the chain
Netherlands
of
it's not.
command
Everybody
usually
cheats. Nobody
tries
cares.
to
Oh.
Okay.
back them.
Wrath PSA says, to the first lady, the marriage that didn't work out, he was alliance, wasn't he? Probably a no mage.
Oh gosh, no mage. That's funny. I don't
he?
think he was cool enough to play WoW.
Oh, okay. We have a chat here from Billiam the Mars. Hey, thank you, man, for the super chat. The Bible tells men to only get married to a woman if they are struggling with sexual immorality. Read 1 Corinthians 7:19.
I don't think
Only
that's
if they're
real
struggling.
at all.
Get married.
I don't think that's real.
Which edition of
Billiam the Mars,
Bible?
thank you. Giovanni, is that Shane Smith? Finally, some Catholic representation. Purge the heretics, brother.
Nice. That's funny.
All right, Giovanni, appreciate it, man. We got the.
Loose Pussy
LPE.
Energy donated $200.
Adam
Brian,
32?
Walmart Adam 32 is
Oh, wow,
embarrassing
okay.
himself. Marriage is a total L. 304s initiate 80% of divorces and most guys lose all their shit. I ain't losing mine. Kiss my ass. I'll bitches.
Of course.
That voice is
Of
wild.
course, that's the view you have when you're poor.
Where you been, bro?
No, I
LP,
don't
where you
think so.
been? Shoot me a DM on Instagram or Discord. LP, shoot me a DM on Instagram or Discord. We have another chat coming in here real quick. We got Grid One.
Grid One Motorsports donated $200
Yo,
and
thank you,
1
man.
cent.
Thank you, man.
Be give me a call when you get a chance tomorrow.
Okay.
And just because it seems relative how many of the panelists
we'll
are
ask them.
feminist, do not be shy. The patriarchy is here to help.